I'm Carrillo Corser. I'm working with 3 organizations: Compassionate San Diego County, Compassionate Arts, and Compassionate California. And there are actually a lot of other nonprofits, interfaith groups, and we welcome more groups to join us in outreach to youth, especially ages 13 to 26, who have had anxiety, depression, fear with COVID, with climate change, with all the things that are pressuring their life, and they're so isolated. So personally, my own family has had some issues with this with my grandchildren, so that's why I'm doing this. I'm a professional artist. I specialize in building projects that make resilience and health grow in communities. I want to tell you a little bit about what we're doing. We have mental health direct focused on youth panel discussions on January 9th and 10th on Zoom and on Facebook Live on Compassionate Arts. Each of these panel discussions can include your questions, and they will include some of this art that we've been making. The art comes from the conversations with youth, and I'll tell you a little bit about each of these posts because each of them addresses a topic that the youth feel is important for them. And I think it's important for all of us, don't you think?
Absolutely. And now, somebody helped you pick out these topics.
Yes, we call them youth ambassadors, and we have 12 on our team now. Most of them are from San Diego County. A couple of them are from Fallbrook, Los Angeles, Monterey County, Texas, New York. We're bringing in voices of youth to connect with each other and to build resilience. So this post is on anxiety. And they decide what they want on the post as a group. So there are adults and youth that have their voices on the post.
Can you turn it for me?
So this is a face of a young girl who felt that the eyes didn't see that there are people there to help her through her anxiety. She still felt alone, even though her family was trying to help her. And on this side of the post, we have self-care. And of course, we encourage people to find a therapist. Get a therapist. Try deep breathing. Art therapy. Having friends and family support you. Here is a text hotline number. (741-741). It's open 24/7, so 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You can go to psychologytoday.com and you can find a therapist, a recommended therapist. Other things that you can do is, and this is the youth that came up with this, get a new hobby or listen to music that's uplifting. Exercise can shift your endorphins and your serotonin levels. Meditation to relieve stress. There are a lot of YouTube videos that help with the stress. Read to calm yourself. Go out in nature. We love that about Fallbrook, don't we? Fallbrook has such beautiful places.
We have hundreds of places to hike up here.
And then, of course, good nutrition, you know.
Oh, if I don't eat right, I'm a mess. We are what we eat, folks.
So these posts, some of them have photographs on them that the youth have sent in. Some of them have ideas that some of them the youth have come over and painted on. This is an example of how they felt, like their anxiety, sadness, and anger was a bottle breaking open.
They needed to get that out of them.
And so then the solution is to be your own hero. So we have a therapist, Dr. Janina Scarlett is the therapist on this post, in this panel discussion for January 9th. And she talks about anxiety as breaking it down into little steps. Like sometimes you feel like you can't do anything when you're really scared or you have anxiety. If you can just do one thing, one little step, and the youth actually responded to her telling that and becoming your own hero. So people think that heroes like the Avengers and things like that are just comic book, but they actually are like myth that have been taught for centuries in our cultures, because that's the way to encourage people to keep going, not to give up, keep the faith, be strong, and don't worry. So these are London Ross. She's the lead artist on this post. So we have facts, we have help people can do, we have the voices of youth who are in trouble and they need help. All of that is combined. It's like a giant book, 8 foot tall. And London actually chose this quote: "Breathe, darling, it is just a chapter. It is not your whole story." And that goes along with what Dr. Janina Scarlett was saying about taking a step. When you have anxiety and you feel paralyzed, just try to take one little step at a time.
Now I know they all represent something different. Which does this one represent?
So this post, the lead artist is Madison Ross, London Ross's sister, and it's on autism, understanding the autism spectrum, because Madison is on the autism spectrum and she wants to be treated fairly and she wants people to understand what autism is in a way that's more holistic. So on each post there's a self-care, we call it a scroll, and they came up with build on your strengths. Imagine your safe place when you're afraid, when you're depressed, when you're feeling alone. Think kind thoughts. Be kind to yourself and to others. And of course, breathing is really important. Also, sometimes you just need some time out. It's funny. I remember when my daughter was young, I remember her telling me, I just needed some time out. And so we called it an attitude adjustment time. and she would go to her room until she felt better, and then we could talk. Because sometimes when you're really upset, it's hard to talk. And if you're on the autism spectrum, sometimes the words don't come easily, but you're upset.
Or you do what I do and you say things all wrong and everybody gets offended, and then you have to backpedal and try to re-say what you meant to say in the first place. And it's all because when you're upset, your mind is spinning out of control and you're not able to contain it. And so that lesson that you're telling everybody about breathing, like take one step and see where that leads, and chances are you're going to feel better. So the first thing I had to learn was to breathe. So once I could get my breath, then things calmed down. Now my brain's slowing down. Now I can think more clearly and the thoughts come out properly.
Thank you for saying that, because it's really important for all of us, right? To take a breath, take a step back.
Regroup, regenerate.
Madison calls it recharging your batteries, or chill time, and her mom calls it chill time. She needs chill time. But deep breathing does a lot of things that so many people don't understand. It actually helps your nervous system. Medically helps you. So this post, since it's on autism, we are so blessed to have you, Robin, on our discussion as a guidance ally, adult allies we call them.
Thank you.
And you have connected us, thank you very much, with Temple Grandin, who we're thrilled about. Madison,
who'd have thunk a fairy could get Temple?
I think it's fabulous. And Madison and the other youth on the autism spectrum are so thankful for Temple Grandin to take the time to be part of this discussion. This will have boxes because Temple Grandin said, interesting people you'll find make their own boxes. And for Madison, she felt like on the outside you might look like everyone else, but in the inside your mind might be operating differently. And what would that look like? Like, who are you inside? And so she made a box, and those boxes will go on the side here.
Oh, that's what that space is reserved
and that's
for.
what this space is reserved for.
Oh.
So they choose quotes, statistics, crisis phone numbers, websites. And this post is actually pretty interesting because it has some famous people that had autism or have autism on the spectrum. Tim Burton, who if you know is a film producer and an artist, and he's done several things about The Nightmare Before Christmas, things like that. Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss is my hero.
That's why we have the hat on there.
Absolutely. He inspired my books.
And we have scientists, Dr. Barbara McClintock, who's won the Nobel Prize, Temple Grandin, of course, and Greta Thunberg, who a lot of you know who Greta Thunberg is because she is a young Norwegian climate activist, and she's
awesome.
Awesome. This post is on depression, overcoming depression and loneliness. So on the bottom we have lines from a song by one of our youth, Alex Saltzman, and this is his painting on here. It represents the same person, but one is leaning toward good and trying to take care of people. It has a mask on, and the other is kind of like the devil, he said. Angels and devil. It's kind of like his song.
Exactly.
Discussion. What you're looking at now is lines from Alex's song about how he feels when he's depressed.
Oh, the one that did the painting, the devil and
Yes.
the angel. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So, and these quotes came from Dr. Marissa. Take it in chunks. Face your fears.
My doctor used to say, bite-sized pieces, Robin.
Oh, that's a great way to think about it. Bite size, because it's visual, right?
Exactly. We need everything to be visual. Me and most of the people I know on the spectrum are show me, don't tell me. We're the Missouri state. Show me, don't tell me.
You know, it's interesting because my undergraduate degree was in journalism, my master's in art. But in journalism, that's a very common thing to say. Show me, don't tell me. When you write, if you write in a way that people can see it in their mind's eye. So this post is on diversity, and the lead artist is a Fallbrook resident, Camille Saleh. And she did this young, beautiful woman coming out of adversity. Discrimination, hate, racism, inequality. And on the post are always inspiring because we want these posts to be educational and inspiring. So they represent how we're stronger with diversity. That in diversity we have strength, actually.
In diversity, we have strength. Absolutely.
So one quote is, "The beauty of the world is in the diversity of its people." So I'm going to close with diversity post because Camille Saleh lives here, of course, and also because she grew up, her father was from Malaysia and her mother was from the States in California, and so she realizes that diversity is, and her children, of course, realizes that diversity is a strength that we can build on and build resilience. And like the phoenix, rise, right?
Absolutely, it's beautiful. Can you read to us what it says?
It's a line from Maya Angelou's poem, the famous poet, Maya Angelou.
Yes, I love her.
Still, like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, I rise. So this came from the conversations that we've been having with Reverend Carolyn. She's the lead therapist on this post. And this is an African word, and it means humanity to others, caring about others. And diversity also means people who have disability. And this is a photo from our Compassionate Arts part of the California Visionaries Conference, which shows you that there's a lot of diversity in compassionate arts. And compassion is love in action.
It's beautiful. Now I can't help it just because I'm here. I noticed that you've got my eyeball over there. Right behind you. We should just maybe make a little mention of that.
Okay. Another Fallbrook resident, right? Robin, of course, you are on the post. And your quote is, "Teaching through the art of storytelling, no matter the challenge, you can be a big hero." Fairy Queen Flutterby.
There you go, aka Robin Williams. I love saying my new name. So does my husband. Thank you so much, Kira. I love what you're doing. I feel really honored to be a part of this project, and I can't wait till we do the panel. And why don't you give people the dates of the panels one more time?
Sure. January 9th and January 10th. There are 2 panels each day. The first one is 11:30 till 1. The second one is 1:30 till 3. You can go to compassionatearts.net or see us on Facebook, Compassionate San Diego, and all the information is there to register for the Zoom or just watch us live on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kira, and take care.